I am with you.
I have a gavel.
All right, just go.
There you go, thank you. Okay, we're ready to get started. We are short, a few council people, Dean, Dave, Frank, Susie, they're excused, they can't make it. But, we're ready to get started. 2-1, Jeff, discuss senior transportation smart funding proposal. I'm sure Todd needs to come up here and explain this to us.
Hello.
Oh, Todd.
She didn't make it, I guess.
All right, what's going on?
Well, Your Honor, Council, I asked Todd about a year and a half ago about smart busing in Riverview. And he said at one time, we were smart busing, but we were using Trinity cab service. So I said, we should take a look at that because we have some credits that are built up. So you guys, meaning council, approved a bid for a van, which he did, got a price back, and then we took another step and met with Smart itself, their administrator and their financial people, to confirm the monies that Todd will talk about, that we have in trust with them, and that we could use those funds to bring back to Smart. So I've asked Todd to kind of lay out the program and how it would work, how many days a week, what the fares would be, the van, the bus drivers, the whole bit. So we're at a planning stage, but if it sounds good to council, then we would bring it back and then kind of even have Smart here at a council meeting and if you'd want, and speak about it. But it's a service that we can offer back to our residents, and it would really be helpful for our seniors that need transportation to hospitals, shopping, kind of like a dial-a-ride type thing. So very minimal cost, very minimal cost.
So just be clear though, this money can't be used for something else other
Correct.
than this.
Correct. And that's why it wasn't being used, and it was accumulating.
Okay.
So,
All right, Todd, what are we gonna do with all this money?
Well, hopefully we're gonna bring back the senior transportation program. As Jeff said, we wanna bring it back in-house. The beginning step is to purchase a handicap accessible van for it, so then we would be able to take any seniors with disabilities or that can, get along on their own that are unable to drive. So it would be bringing back a kind of mirroring the program that we had before with the taxi program. We would keep the same boundaries with it, which is Vreeland Road to North Line, Telegraph to Jefferson. The reason those areas were chosen was because it has a lot of medical facilities, hospitals within the area. So it does give the seniors an ability to choose their own doctors and things like that and still use our program for it. As Jeff said, they can use it for other things too. If they need to go grocery shopping, go to the pharmacy, things like that, they would be able to use the program. The difference is we're not going out to a taxi company. We'd be doing it in-house, so we would be hiring our own drivers. The plan is right now is to try to advertise at $15 an hour and see if we can get some drivers at that price. Is to open it up 3 days a week from 9:30 to 2:30 for the 3 days, which right now we're looking at Monday, Tuesday, Thursday as the 3 days that we would be running the program. With it, the program, if we are getting a lot of use with the program, we definitely kind of expand it to Wednesday and Friday if that's what we need to do to meet the needs within the program. So what the plan is to use the smart funding that we have built up over the years. Before COVID even hit, we were doing a good job at keeping the amount down that we were spending on the taxi program. We started building some money, and then when COVID hit, we really started building some money because we haven't spent any money really on the program in about 5 years. So we do have over $200,000 right now in the program. With the projected of the 3 days, being able to reimburse someone in the department to be a dispatcher, being able to reimburse the drivers and all the van expenses such as maintenance, the gas, the oil, things like that for the van. Have the program projected at about $35,000. to run in a year, and we do get about $33,000 from Smart a year, so it is almost close to that area that we'd be looking at. So if we do go above and beyond that, that's when we start really getting into that kitty that we have with Smart. And then if we do decide to run other programs or do more trips, or if the trips become more popular than what we thought, we do have an area to do some backing. So we do have funding to last us a little bit a while. But the funding it does run out a little bit, but hopefully with purchasing the van, which is $69,000, that brings us not as close to that bar of the funding running out with that. So that would be the first major purchase with the program. Also, with bringing it back in-house, we are looking at maybe down the line of purchasing a larger van, which would be purchased through Smart. Through that, and you can use the community credits with that. It actually give you a very good price for it. I think it used to only be 5% of the purchase price is what you had to use in your Smart funding for it. So that would give us the ability, that would probably be for our community a 12-person van. Then it would give us the ability to do a little bit more group type rides with it. So the proposal, that's our proposal, is to try to get the senior, back up and being able to get around to different areas. The proposed rate right now that we're looking at is, it would be $5 for the participant when we pick them up, if they don't need help as far as wheelchair in it. If they do need help with wheelchair, if the driver has to help, we have to use the wheelchair mechanism. It's $10 for the ride to and from. So that's a one-way, so it would be $10 or $20 round trip for the resident on that, which right now is a great rate. If you're looking at it, I mean, if you were to get an Uber just from here to Meyer, you're actually already more than that for it. So it's a pretty good rate for the seniors to do that. I mean, and basically the senior, it's advertised as for those seniors who do not have the ability to get themselves around. We're going to try to oversee that, but we're not going to say no really to any seniors that want to sign up for the program.
So would they have to sign up for it?
Yeah, that's what we traditionally did in the past, and yes, we would be asking for them to sign up for it, and then we give them a card that they can show the driver, but we would probably have a database, so if they call into us and say they want to ride, then we would just look on the database. But it's a free sign up. It's not anything, so we would sign them up. It's just so we can verify, yes, that they are a Riverview resident, really is what the sign up is for. So it's just not anyone signing up for it.
So this would be, so somebody's for a doctor appointment or shopping or whatever, this is pick up and drop off, and then they'd have to come back to get them, or?
Correct. Yep. So
Historically, you kind of make a route based on the needs of the day, and you kind of shuttle around that route. They'll have a cell phone. The van driver will have a cell phone, and if the appointment changes or if it takes longer, whatever, we'll be in contact with them.
And we're going to see, how we need to run the program. In the past, it was always a kind of a cash program with a taxi company. I'm kind of hoping to start out that way, but if we need to adjust, say go to credit cards or Venmo, we're going to look into that capability for something like that too. But we're going to see what we can do to make it as easy as we can for the seniors.
Cool.
I think this potentially is an added service. You hear this thing about my taxes are going up or whatever. Here's maybe some kind of program that we can offer the seniors with a little bit of a give back. And
now, would
without a major
seniors
cost to the
from
city.
the Atria or American House, are they all eligible for that too?
They are eligible because they are Riverview residents. We do encourage them to use their own services. And I think they have gotten back to it since we haven't had any rides since COVID. It was something that was getting used pretty heavily before from the units, but hopefully we won't have a huge problem from the senior assisted living complexes.
And what Todd said earlier, I know for a fact that if Smart sees big use and good use of the van and a number of rides, then they'll keep bouncing us up for a Smart van or a Smart bus, a small. So that's very important, because then we won't They reimburse us everything, you know,
Uh-huh.
gas, oil, maintenance, the whole bit. But having that smart bus is one layer better, because as Todd mentioned, we pay very little cost for the van itself, and we can handle more people, so.
Mm-hmm.
Working with Tracy, I think, you know, the licensed driver will have to be at least a chauffeur with the van, have
Uh-huh.
a chauffeur
Yep.
license.
And they would also have to have the ability to help a person if they are in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm. Now, how would this dispatcher work? Would it be somebody here?
Yeah,
involved?
Karen Roberts, sorry, who I've hired within our department. She did work at King Haven before coming to us, and she had experience working with their senior transportation program.
Mhm.
So she is going to be kind of overseeing the program and being our main dispatcher for it.
Okay.
How was the use before COVID? Like, was it pretty popular?
We were doing, it was about 140 rides a month. So, I mean, with the 5 days a week, I think that was averaging about 3 rides per day. So with us only having 3 days, I'm hoping it'll go up to like at least 4 or 5 rides, if not a little bit more per day on that. So, I mean, it wasn't heavily used, but it was obviously at a point where it was needed.
How does it work with car insurance? Does the driver take that responsibility, or is
No,
that on
the city takes that responsibility. That is something that we would put, the car would go under our fleet of cars, so it would go under that same insurance.
You said this funding will come out of the kitty.
Yep, everything should be through smart funding with it, so the smart funding, so it's
It'll be
really.
pretty much an even.
Yes,
Even break.
should be really no
And
cost
we'll
to the
watch
city.
it.
And we have to front the money and then we ask for reimbursement, but they're good about that.
Comes back quarterly to us.
I really
Yes.
think that's a super cool idea. Like, if that's able to be done, I think it'd be very much appreciated by
Yep.
quite a few, so that's very cool.
Yeah. That's why I asked about, we can't use this money for anything else, because you know we're
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah, and it has to be used for transportation-related things. Yeah, you noticed probably it was about 5, 6 years ago, we put up some nice bus stop areas in Riverview. We used our smart funding through SMART to put those ones up because it was a transportation type use. But they only approved us for the 2 sites. They said the other sites that we have where the buses stop were not large enough to put up a shelter. So we can't use it for that anymore.
No. The other, go ahead.
Yeah, just a
Ryan.
couple. Will it perpetually be a break even on the costs compared to expense? Or at some point, will there be a break?
As of right now, yes, but I guess if the program expands and we need to have a driver 5 days a week, or if we do get a second vehicle and then need to have 2 drivers, yes, it would expand in that, but potentially with the, still having about $200,000 in it, I don't see us having a problem, at least within the next 10 years, if not a little bit more, especially with the 33,000 coming in each year.
Right. So that credit that you just talked about, that's under the smart funding? So you got the
Yes,
municipal credits and the
municipal
community
and
credits,
community
and that
credits.
totals up to about 256,000?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. And then you mentioned it's for seniors, is that, 55 and over? Is that
We put it at 60 and older. If people would like us to put it at 55 and older, I have no problem moving it to that if that's what would be the like of council. I have no problem doing that. We also do make it so if you're under 55, you are eligible with medical need.
That was my next question, if there's
Yeah.
somebody that is either handicapped, or what about like low income?
I guess we haven't. I've never done anything with low income. It's something I would definitely be willing to
And then we'd have to
look
start getting into, like, are they qualified?
Yeah.
Well, that's the
There's
problem,
that-
determination.
Yeah.
We don't want to
That's
get
not our
into,
world.
we don't want to get into proving if they're low
Yeah.
income. We're not going to examine tax returns, we're not going to get into state cards, and that's just something we don't want to have to justify. Because we'll be calling Randy the first time we don't accept somebody, and
You
they
have to
send it.
determine if they're disabled though, right?
Well, yeah, that's a little bit easier. I mean,
Our guidelines for that right now, as long as they have a doctor's note or doctor saying that, yes, they are disabled and unable to drive. So it's a pretty lenient for that.
What does SMART consider a senior citizen?
I would have to actually look into that. I never asked them what they consider. Because they don't see it as a senior transportation program.
Oh, okay.
We are putting it as a senior
All right,
transportation
okay, I
program.
thought maybe they were.
SMART asks for the cities to use the money for transportation.
Okay. So it's up to us. We could.
Right, it's up to us to set those, what the guidelines are.
So I mean, that's a good point, Brian, is that, what would you say the age was?
We have it at 60 right now.
So let's say if you don't get much participation, maybe we could lower it to 55.
Yeah, and also possibly
Well, I'm already qualified, so I
some way, I just, because I know there's a lot of people in the community that are, low income and they have to spend that $20 just to get to the doctors, and if we could give them an affordable transportation means, I think it's worthwhile. If we can, adapt the program and, we're not overburdening, right, taking away from the seniors and adding the time and expense of the other people, lower income people. So it's something I'd like to have considered at some point if we can. But, so now we need to determine an age.
Mhm.
And then that'll help with the longevity, you're saying, right? The being
Yeah.
able to, say you said approximately 10 years as of now, if everything stayed
Yeah,
status quo.
I don't see us
roughly.
using that full kitty and before that time, no.
And there's I actually have a meeting separate tomorrow. I'll check into that, Brian, for as far as the medical rides. There's along the lower income side of things, and then I'll get everyone that information
Okay, appreciate that.
as a separate entity, so we can keep it seniors or whatnot.
Okay, anyone else, any other questions? All right,
Thank you, Todd.
Thanks,
All right,
Todd.
thanks.
so we'll be bringing it back when he gets some.
Well, were we gonna put it on the agenda for next Monday to go ahead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
All right.
all right.
Thank you.
I know the guy's waiting on the van, he's holding it for you,
Yes,
so.
so, yeah.
We've been holding
If
it a
gets
while.
voted on next Monday, I will order it next
Yep.
Tuesday morning.
Okay, great.
So, Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
Thanks again.
Okay, special projects, Jeff.
Let's start with Jennifer Boyer tonight. She's here in the landfill.
So, we got the bids back for the gas construction project. We had a low bidder and we recommended going with them, so that will be on the agenda for next week to get approved. They can start April 22nd and they expected the project to take 4 to 5 weeks, so it should be done by the end of May, which is what we had hoped for. Other than that, we have the loan application for the Clean Water grant, or not grant, loan application. And that's going to be posted for public viewing, and we will bring that to the council for an authorization also in the near future. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be here in front of you, but it is coming.
Thank you, Jennifer.
So Ohio.
Good evening. Same projects, we have the lead services replacement, the contract was signed today, so we can get scheduled. The relief sewer connection to do the minor revisions were taken care of today, so we are hoping we can go out for bids on that. On the sewer lighting project, again, we had a meeting with the new representative for the company, and we're trying to get that scheduled as soon as possible. For street sectioning, I'd like to bring it forward in front of the council to extend the current contract with the current contractor with a minor adjustment for material cost. And otherwise, we're doing reviews for DTE projects. We have 24 DTE projects in front of us for gas line replacement.
So Ohio, did we hear anything back on the grant that we put in to help us with the lead lining?
We got it for the potholing. We got the grant. Unfortunately, we're done with the project, so can't use the money.
We can't use it.
We finished the work, so.
That's what you
Came
get
in-
for being
came in a bit
efficient.
too late.
Story of my life. Okay,
That's it.
Thank you, Ohio.
Thank you.
Mr. Dave Skirdo.
Thank you. Green Acres, I think everybody got an invite today. Green Acres is having their open house and ribbon cutting this Friday. The 12th, that's the cannabis place on Fort and King. We have 2 other cannabis. The one in the Burger King is still going through planning commission review. We're expecting the one for the vacant lot between Taco Bell and the mobile station to be coming into planning commission review the next month or so. They're preparing plans. I did hear verbally today that there may be a restaurant grill applying for business in Riverview Commons.
Oh, very good.
I don't have any details, it was a verbal. And finally, Vantage, I think the name was Advantage Credit Union on King Road.
Advantage One.
Advantage One, the former one, they are converting to a medical office, and they're going to the planning commission in May to do a small addition to the building. And also Arias Health approached us this week to start proceeding on their 24-bed expansion.
Which is not in the outlot, that's still in a
It's not in the
section.
outlot, it's in the back.
It's in the back.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I thought Eric Dunlap was coming tonight. Didn't you expected him tonight too?
15th.
Oh, my bad. Today's the 8th, that's right.
Okay, cool.
Very good. Chief, did you want to talk about in other business about that application that we need to talk about and try to get on tomorrow, and get on next week's agenda?
With Wayne County?
Yeah, with Wayne County?
Yeah, just real briefly, Deputy Chief Branham has been working with Wayne County Community College for a number of months. As you all know, they have training programs for firefighters, paramedics, police officers, and they have a number of students that are in their paramedic program. Some of them are firefighters. And we've been working with them to try to, because they have to do a ride-along as part of their licensing requirements through the state of Michigan for paramedic. We have been chosen by Wayne County as one of the facilities to do the ride-alongs for the students. So it gives us a great opportunity to interact with them, get to know them a little bit, see if they're interested in the fire service, and again, better in our relationships with the college. So they sent out an MOU that we need to take a look at, have reviewed and signed and sent back. Time is kind of the essence right now, but I know I sent it over to Randy. He's taking a look at it. He had a couple check marks that he wanted us to look into. But if we could maybe bring it forward next week, we'll have the other stuff ready to go. So,
Very good.
Great.
Thank you, Chief.
thank you.
The only other thing, Mayor, I forgot to mention, Mike's here. Mike, can you just announce the junior golf? That's a big success in Riverview. and-
Junior golf set up to Saturday. Riverview residents can come in on Friday, starting at 8 a.m. to sign their kids up for juniors. A lot of times residents like to sign their neighbors up. They're bringing somebody, they need proof of ID that they live in the city also.
No, very good. Thank you, Mike.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I forgot that. And that's all I have.
Any other business council wants to bring up? Brian?
Yes, just was gonna ask for a few updates. The bids for the property on Grange and the cell tower, are those out now? And
Yes, the Grange property went out. We had a little mix-up in dates, so Dave Skirtle was able to extend the dates and send them directly to 3 or 4 developers. So now they have till May 13th to return their bids for Grange. And we sent them all the information we had on the property. As far as the
does that
cell...
go to Mitten as well, or just?
Oh, yeah, that goes on Mitten as well.
Okay.
But we did send it to 4
individual.
individual interested parties. As far as the cell tower, we were waiting for one more piece to put it out. The lion's share of the work's done. The bid's ready to go out, but we were waiting for appraisal, so I don't know where that's at. I know Kevin and Jeff Kugelman was working on that to see where that was with our appraiser, because we kind of want to know what appraisal thinks it's worth before we put it out. That's historically how we do it, so, but it's ready to go. I know Alyssa from Randy's office looked at it, teed it up for us, so we're ready just to hit the go button. So I'll verify this week where that cell tower appraisal and bid is at, bid packet.
Okay, so that property on Grange went out for bid. Did we have a starting price for the bid?
We're not telling them how much, and we're not telling them what to put there. We're gonna let council decide on what their bid proposals, request for proposal, and what they offer. So we'll know what, you know,
We'll know what it was appraised at.
yes, we have an independent appraiser appraise that land, so then you guys can compare to what the independent appraiser, I think we paid $4,000 to have that, and the cell tower appraised. And then we had a surveyor as well, because we wanted to do a wetland study as well, so.
Okay, and that would lead to my second question of where we're at with the wetland survey and the appraisal for the Sibley property.
The wetlands was done. Did they do the Sibley property wetlands yet, Dave, do you know?
Yes, wetlands.
Okay, that's done. And then he's working on the appraisal for the 38 acres right now, isn't he?
Yes.
Yep, that should be done like in 10 days,
I'll
Yep.
get back to see where he
a
is.
week or 10 days, that should be done. And that's where that's at. Now, as far as putting that out, I'm not instructed to put that out for bid, the 38 acres yet. There was some discussion early on that that would be part of the 2030 plan, and then there was some talk that it wasn't part of the 2030 plan, so that'll be up to, I can put it out, that doesn't hurt anything to put it out, but as far as accepting proposals or what have you, that'll be up to the council, what they feel is important, so.
Anything else,
Okay.
Brian?
And then, is there any further update on the, looking into including the backup with the agendas?
Yes, Randy and I spoke about it. We're almost there to where we're gonna decide what to present back to you of what his options are, what our options are. We've started the discussions already, and he's dug around and looked at information, so I don't think we're ready at this point to make any comment to it, but we will.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Okay. That's all from my side.
David?
Just, I think that's it.
Rita?
Any updates on the new owners at the golf, was it the Sand Trap or whatever?
Yes.
Any
Yes.
updates on when that's opening? I know
They-
I've seen a lot of golfers cruising through the last
Yes.
couple weeks. It's
Um,
been nice, so I want to know.
Of course,
when
they
can-
wanted to be open for St. Patrick's Day. They missed that. They have been pulling all of their permits. They have met all of the city's requirements. I think there's a couple things that they've got to button up. I know they want to be open as soon as possible. Of course, they did
Yeah.
an Easter brunch in their banquet center, which wasn't their restaurant. So, and they have a lot of the permits done, but I think they're waiting on one or two right now that they got to still finish. So I would hope that the next couple of weeks they should be open.
Yeah, the latest is they said, by the end of the month.
Yeah.
I went to their job fair they had last Friday, because I'm looking for a job pretty soon. And they got a long way to go on the inside.
Yeah, well.
There's a lot to be done. I know they're doing a lot of work remodeling
So-
the kitchen, they got a long way to go.
So they ripped the kitchen out and they replaced all of the kitchen. They didn't save any of the equipment.
Wow.
And so they had to re-plumb and re-put new electrical in for all the updated equipment. And that was first, because that has to be able to fill the banquet site as well. But they didn't do any major structural changes to the walls or the, so it was more of a facelift, but the equipment was the thing that put them way behind, because they just didn't rip it out and paint the floor. They sanded the floor, they epoxied the floor, they put in the equipment, new lights, they had to rewire for all the upper or the increased voltage, or, a lot of new 220s went in, because that was the new equipment, and so they did the back of the house first, it's kind of weird, and they did a little of the front of the house, and now they're all moving to the front of the house and doing, tables and,
All right. I got a lot
So-
of people waiting to
Oh, yeah.
check that
Yeah,
out, so.
yep.
There is.
So that's,
So hopefully within the next month?
well, within a couple weeks if they have it there.
Yep.
All right.
I do have a couple announcements, as Dave mentioned, I don't know if the rest of the council got them. Green Acres is having their grand opening this Friday at, the official ribbon cutting is at noon, so everybody's invited to go to that. And I got some correspondence from JARS that they're going to be open, they're doing their grand, well, they're open now, they're doing their grand opening, I think it's Friday, May 3rd. So, put that on your schedules. So, yeah, two new dispensaries, got 2 in the queue, so, we're only 1 away from what I said we'd have 7 to 9, so we're getting there. And, I'll be honest, I visited Bo's, I've been at Jars, haven't been to, I've been to Green Acres, haven't been to Jars yet. They're really nice people, and they're committed to, doing well for the city, so, I've taken them for their word, and I think they're doing great, and, more power to them.
Yeah, shops are really nice, they're real sharp.
Yeah, they are, and they're really nice people, too.
Mm-hmm.
I have one last question while I have everybody here. So on the MI funding hub for the grants, I know I had sent that out to everybody and replied that you got that. Is there a way to proceed with maybe picking out one area of interest we have for a grant and using that as, kind of a starting point to look at how this tool is working and what kind of response we get from their service that's just started April 1st? You have any thoughts? Since we have it there?
I mean, we
You
could-
need some direction from council on that.
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
right, we would, and then, and that's time, we're in the budget's
Right.
done, but, we're still building the books, and we're hoping that the 24th and 25th are gonna be budget meetings, so, maybe after that time,
Okay, maybe
might
Put a
have
pin in
some
it and
time.
Visit in about a month?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Anything else? Okay, now's the time for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the mayor and council? You guys know the speech. It's only addressed to Mr. Kyleman back there. I see him shaking his head no.
Okay.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you, everybody.